We are here to get things rolling into Game 4, where TSM challenge FlyQuest. And if you're a fan of the boys in green, make sure to stay tuned after today's show, where Freak, Viper, and Invert will be having some fun on LCS Cooldown.
Yeah, Freak is actually going to be 1v1ing Viper in a ribbon mirror match, so I don't think you want to miss that one.
Where can I put money on this? I could use a couple extra dollars. All right, for now, let's go ahead and jump right into the starting rosters. Selecting blue side, it's TSM. They got Broken Blade in the top lane, Acadian in the jungle, Bjergsen mid, Sven bottom, Smoothie on support, and Coach Zix.
And facing them on the red side today, it's going to be FlyQuest. In the top lane, Viper. In the jungle, Santorin. Mid laner, Pobelter. Bot lane going to be Wild Turtle with support JJ and Coach Invert.
Now, last week, FlyQuest had some bad early games, but they were able to pull together 2 solid wins with their heavy engaged compositions. Yesterday, they went all in on the early game, and, well, the lead kind of just fell away from them.
Yeah, I mean, they focused very heavily on that early game, and it was a completely different look. They did manage to generate those leads, which is impressive in and of itself. You know, they were perhaps, though, overcorrecting on their focus. You know, they had a good thing going for themselves, started 2-0, and maybe didn't need to adjust quite as much because they left themselves without engage options.
And we'll see what they draft today against a tougher opponent, as TSM had their own come-from-behind victory, even if it never really felt like they were behind.
Yeah, I mean, they were down a little bit in gold against Clutch, but to be fair, it felt like they were able to one-up Clutch at every corner. They were meeting them at the Dragons. They were winning those neutral objective battles, and they had a comp that heavily outscaled. You know, Broken Blade may have fell behind initially by, overexerting himself a bit. A couple ill-advised dives, which turned into 1v3s for Solo. But that being said, he's up today against Viper, some more new blood to the LCS, and I'm excited to see how he's going to perform here.
That was probably my biggest criticism yesterday in the TSM game, was Broken Blade's just mechanical performance was not at the level that you would have expected it to be at. Some of the ults were all over the place. The decision-making was a little haphazard with when he dived in, so hopefully he's been able to reset himself a little bit, go back, watch the footage from yesterday, and be like, okay, I see where we should have maybe just played things a little bit safer and just allow things to continue without taking those overt risks.
Yeah, totally, because, I mean, when you looked across the game plan for the rest of TSM, they were playing very conservative. They knew they had the Ezreal late game that was going to take over. It was against a Jace AD. Sven was massive on the Ezreal. He had Smoothie supporting with the Tahm Kench. There was basically no way he was going to die when he got to that stage. And despite a couple of flubs, they did get there, and then they looked great. I mean, I think their team play was fantastic. It's really just a couple of those individual stakes that you could attack, but really TSM has been fairly solid throughout this year.
All right, well, TSM has decided they're removing the evil queen of the popsicles first and foremost. Lissandra, that we've seen in so many games so far, will not be in this game today. Irelia also banned away by TSM. FlyQuest have decided to remove the Cassiopeia that we've already talked about, how it's so strong, how a lot of teams are just used to pretty much perma-banning it at this point. Yeah. And FlyQuest, as the red side, does have to take that hit in their draft strategy, as Akali will be their second.
Yeah, Kali being taken away, Aurelia, a lot of these really popular champions are getting banned out. Urgot, Aatrox, a couple more that can be added to that list. Lucian, another one that people really are putting a lot of priority on in the bans. Jace is a bit of a step away, I'd say, from the norm as far as the bans do go, but it's much more dependent upon the kind of proclivities, the tendencies of an individual team, right? If you are worried about this team, maybe flexing an even bot or having a carry-style top laner, as FlyQuest does, and they're on red side where they can maybe abuse a counter pick, hey, that makes a lot of sense.
The final ban of the first half of the draft here will be that Lucian coming out from FlyQuest. We talked a little bit about last game about how the big 380 carries right now are the Ezreal, the Lucian, and the Kai'Sa, so don't be surprised if Ezreal and Kai'Sa rear their heads here in this game. But Urgot, another staple of the meta for quite a long time now, even though he did get some nerfs, still seems to be strutting around pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a ranged top laner. He still has percentage HP damage that is so good into a lot of the tanks. Really, the expected picks here is simply Aatrox and then their AD of preference. That is the most standard. You grab your side of the Ezreal or Kai'Sa, whichever you would prefer. That would be the norm. We do know that both of these picks can be flexed mid or top. A bit of a departure from the norm here, though, as JJ did rack up a couple of wins on the Orange support in week 1. It was actually both of his wins, I believe, earlier this season.
And this also remedies the issue that we talked about just a little bit earlier of FlyQuest not having any engage yesterday. In FlyQuest game versus CLG, they were up almost 7,000 gold at one point, but they couldn't close the game because they could never pick when the fights would happen. And when you have the Ornhorn, that's not quite as much of an issue. TSM will grab themselves the Camille and the Ezreal, and as predicted, when one side of the AD carry coin comes up TSM, the other side will inevitably be FlyQuest, with the Kai'Sa being picked in response.
Yeah, and Sven is going to get his choice of that, right? And 2 of his games have been Ezreal. Those are their 2 wins, and in both of those games, he was dominating in that late game. Really looking good on the Ezreal, playing a lot of scaling style, double tier builds. 9-0-10 yesterday, 7-1-3 in their previous game against 100 Thieves. So a pretty absurd KDA here on the Ezreal.
29.
And you are giving that over, so that's something that FlyQuest are going to sacrifice to secure themselves this Orange support.
Well, as we get into the second part of the bans here, it looks like mid lane is the name of the game. Galio has been, sometimes you say a champion's been hit with the nerf bat, but Galio got kneecapped with the nerf bat recently, so he's going to be banned away, which means FlyQuest
Floating
is
at the
still
bottom of a river somewhere.
respecting that pick. He got some concrete shoes, but LeBlanc will be banned out there as well. They don't want Pobelter on that one, as Zilean will be taken away. We remember the week 1 game where Bjergsen was able to get off 3 chrono shifts in the same game-ending team fight. Zilean gets a little absurd in the late game, and FlyQuest does not want to deal with that.
Yeah, definitely would like to avoid it, but there are still a lot of other picks they obviously can go back to here for the mid lane, so no worries in that regard. You know, the Urgot even could be the mid laner, as could the Aatrox, so we may even have the mid lanes already in there. Obviously, you don't know just yet, but Syndra still available if they wanted to go for something like that. There are a lot of different options, really.
Looks like FlyQuest will be saving the mid lane for last pick here, which is obviously a very smart thing to do. You're up against a high caliber mid laner in Bjergsen. You want to give POB every possible chance to succeed in that one. They pick up the Kha'Zix for themselves. We've seen Santorin have some awesome performances on this champion in the past. Let's see what he can do with it here today.
This is really the champion that I think of when I think of Santorin's best games last year. Were some massive Kha'Zix carries, so certainly could be looking good on it here today. And we've seen Kha'Zix pop up a couple times. Rush had a good performance and a win on the Kha'Zix earlier, if you missed that one. So certainly Santorin looking to repeat some of the success that we have seen here already today.
One thing about Kha'Zix too these days, you're seeing a lot more people go with the evolved cloaking early on as opposed to the evolved claws. People still like to go for the wings and the rockets for the utility on 2nd and 3rd evolutions, but that first one is favoring more maneuverability, the ability to just weave in and out of the fights, as opposed to, hey, I'm going to do Dragon by myself on isolated claws. So always interesting, at least to me, to track the sort of state of Kha'Zix evolutions in the meta, as the final pick for TSM will be that Syndra. They got that one in the mid lane, and the answer from FlyQuest is Zoe.
Yeah, so pretty expected here. Obviously, Syndra is a signature pick for Bjergsen. Had already been played once by Pobelter as well this season, but a lot of people, when they do think of Bjergsen, they do think of that Syndra. One of his all-time best picks overall. Certainly his most played, a 70% win rate on it with 60 games played in pro is pretty insane. So
I mean, that's miles better than most people do in solo queue, where you're playing against a bunch of random guys that just aren't
miles better than basically everyone does in solo queue. 100% win rate, unless you're like a pro duo.
Yeah, unless you're a guy who's just actively smurfing, doing another, all right, let's get these accounts up to Masters and see how few games we can lose. That's pretty darn impressive. To do it in LCS, a step above even. We'll see if Bjergsen can add yet another notch on that belt here today, as he will go up against Pobelter, who has sort of been unleashed so far on FlyQuest. He seems to really be shining now that he has the opportunity to step out from that supportive role that he played on Team Liquid, playing more of a carry role here on the side of FlyQuest now.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about that. You know, back in the Immortals days, he felt like he had more ability to do what he wanted, to play aggressive, to take over games, and spoke about the fact that he thought he was going to have a shot to do that here on FlyQuest, and especially in week 1, it was looking like the year of Pope, so we'll see if he can recreate some of that week 1 magic against Bjergsen today.
Well, Azale, there's no shot like a one shot, and if that's what you're looking to pull off, Sleepy Trouble Bubbles into Paddle Stars are exactly what the doctor ordered. TSM and FlyQuest are out on the Rift, and we'll see who can secure the win here today. Both teams sitting at 2-1. Somebody gets to leave week 2 with only a single loss on the record. The other team just breaking even. Now, granted, I mean, it's only a 1 loss difference, but at week 2 it actually sounds way different considering you're
is only 1 more than 2.
That is correct, Azale. I'm here to blow your mind with some stats dropping today.
Professor Flowers.
Stats team behind the scenes gonna be proud of me for that one, I'm sure. But top side, it looks like Acadian and Broken Blade gonna step forward here into the Tri-Brush, spook away the Ghost Poro. Sorry, little fella. We'll see you again in about a minute probably. As Santorin walks his way into the river, placing down the ward on the Pixel Brush just to make sure TSM aren't looping around to try to come in the other way.
Yeah, and I do think, all jokes aside, confidence is so incredibly important in these early weeks. It really does sometimes dictate a lot of success a team will or will not have. Talking to a lot of the players, a lot of the teams and coaches, atmospheres within the team sometimes do decay extremely fast after some bad losses, especially if you have a number of them strung together. So building the confidence, especially when you do have some newer members, newer guys in on the team, I think is huge. And you look at Broken Blade, you look at Viper, those are guys who have not had a lot of LCS time here, and having those successful games I think really does mean a lot for them.
Broken Blade and Viper are going to be 2 of the guys especially that I'm keeping my eye on this game. Top side, we'll see how this matchup that we've honestly just seen so much of, really, ever since Worlds of last year. These two just became absolute rocks in the meta that you would see every time they were not banned. And the state of the game hasn't really changed too much despite some nerfs to both so far. But I also want to talk about something on the other end of the map here real quick. Let's talk Sven again on this Ezreal, because you already mentioned the insane numbers that he's put up. And he was one of the guys who came over with Mithy last year to TSM. It was supposed to be this best in the West bottom lane, part of that TSM super team we sort of talked about that didn't come up in the same way that we wanted them to, that a lot of people were expecting them to. And then now, Mithy has moved on. He's gone back to EU. And now Sven has a new support in Smoothie. People were wondering, well, how's this going to work? How are these two going to work together, considering Sven's only ever played with Mithy? Acadian tries to jump in there onto Santorin, but Sven has been shining so far.
He really has. And it's interesting to see him alongside Smoothie. As you say, this is the first time in a long time he's playing without Mithy. A lot of players had incredibly high expectations for them as a duo, incredibly high expectations for them as a team. They did not make the finals either split after having made 10 straight finals. They did not make Worlds for the first time ever. It was by far the worst year ever for TSM. And, Sven certainly could have left the team, certainly could have found other places to go, but he decided to stick it out. He wants to prove his strength as a player. He wants to have that opportunity to show just how damn good he is. And I really think he has a great opportunity to shine this year.
Look at Acadian once again, trying to move into Santorin's jungle, trying to flex muscles onto this enemy jungler, able to find a little bit of damage there, wants to go even further in. JJ's able to collapse, drop the ignite, force the flash out of Acadian. Santorin still having his own flash ready to go. Sven coming around now as well. TSM looking to turn it into a 3 versus 2. Santorin going to be taking even more damage, goes over the wall, keeps himself alive. JJ the same. TSM will not find any kills, but because they forced their opponents back, blue buff is the prize.
Yeah, TSM has the push, so they're going to be able to take this away. Unfortunately, they did actually leash it, which is...
You hate to see it, Azale. You really hate to see that one, but it looks like Acadian will still manage to bring this down. Not too shabby there. And hey, that's a buff you're denying from your opponent. It's going to make the early clear from Kha'Zix feel a little bit worse. It's extra XP and gold in your pocket. Overall, very solid win there for TSM.
Yeah, really nice stuff. And Sven was able to make the faster roam because he has Turtle under the turret. If Turtle makes that roam, he loses the experience, loses the minions. So
big feels better.
Definitely something you don't really want to do, especially in those early moments of the game. So extra member shows up, and not only did they get the buff, they got both summoners here from JJ. It did cost Acadian's flash, but still, an excellent trade.
And when you see, like you just said, Sven already having his opponent pushed up underneath the turret, well, when you're losing the lane priority like that to begin with, and all of a sudden now you're down to 2 summoner spells out of 4 compared to your opponents, I mean, yes, they lost the ignite from their support as well, but they still have an edge. Not exactly where you want to be, and not very indicative of coming back into that lane and having any sort of pressure. Not much of a chance there for that, but Turtle is doing a good job making sure he stays even on the CS department. That's really the goal there. Just don't fall behind. Keep the economy where it needs to be. Game is still very close overall in terms of gold. Nobody's running away with anything just yet. Top side farm is practically even once Broken Blade mops these up. I don't think he would be a very good janitor because the mop missed almost everything, but
Got one.
he got one.
Count it.
It's still close.
Yeah. I always feel bad for them because they're so good at CSing.
Yeah.
And then the like one time, you know, they're missing.
The one
all
time we
minions.
look at it,
the
it's just
camera's
like,
there, like the observers are zooming in on them and stuff.
What's this? What exactly is going on here?
Oh, you missed the cannon there. Let's get a replay.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, go ahead and replay that one in quadruple slow-mo. But he will manage to still get himself the phage on the first back, TPing back into the lane. Kindle Gem only for Viper, so not quite as effective of a first purchase there for him. But Santorin's just going to keep farming up here onto the Wolves. And look at mid lane. FlyQuest, both bottom lane and mid, are just getting very acclimated to the look of that tier 1 turret, being shoved in constantly. And Bjergsen is building a CS lead with it.
Yeah, and you have to remember this was Pobelter with the last pick, and you can always make the argument that okay, it doesn't always have to be about lane. It can be about composition. It can be about effectiveness later, and I think that's totally fine. But how much is too much to give up early, and we'll find out if Pobelter is going to be really up against it, because even with this defensive buy, he's going to rush the Merc Treads. He's already down 18 CS, not even 6.5 minutes into the game, and that's a big deal.
Pretty extreme, but he will still have plenty of firepower as long as he doesn't get himself solo killed or anything like that. But Viper makes sure he stays out of the way of that harpoon. Very important. He does have World Ender, but considering it wasn't on, if you get pulled below the threshold and don't notice it, and he can reactivate the R before you do, you're stuck. And you just go right into the blender, no questions asked. As Vin will continue farming up here in the bottom side. One thing to always consider, too, whenever you're looking at the CS and contemplating, okay, who's ahead, who's behind, you remember to take a quick glance at the number of minions in the lane. Although it looked like Sven was behind there for a moment, he did have a quite large pool of minions to just farm up, get himself right back into the lead. So something that we always have to just be cognizant of when we're examining who's ahead, who's behind in terms of the farm here, as Bjergsen will just continue lobbing those dark spheres towards Pobelter, who'll pick up a summoner heal, so that'll at least keep him topped off a little bit, and throw down a ward just to make sure Acadian isn't looking to come in over that wall.
It's also worth noting, and it's something that I've seen that's kind of pretty interesting this patch, is with the Ignite change, they reduce the damage it deals, but they also reduce the cooldown. So I'm seeing a lot more players with that 30-second lower cooldown. Anytime you're having a good trade,
you just drop it.
People are just slapping out in the night, and they're using it almost similar to how you see some champions use ult for lane priority. People are almost using it along that line, and that's even stronger, I think, when you are playing Spellbook, because you want to rotate through the summoners. You have the lower cooldown naturally there, so that is a pretty powerful strategy, and it's definitely an adaptation with this patch.
Old school League players will remember walking into lane and dropping Ignite on the guy before minions spawn to get the 5 AD bonus.
Get it stacking, we scaling.
Because you're like, okay, I don't need this 50 damage thing. It's going to be useless, but I would really like half a longsword.
Yeah, a short sword perhaps.
Yeah, that's what one might call it, as the Drowsy finds its way onto Acadian, taking a little bit of damage there, issuing the Hextech ultimatum down onto the enemy jungler, who eats the entirety of the ultimate. FlyQuest will be forced back there. They find themselves on the losing end of the trade. Pobelter does pick up a Proto Belt to help clear the wave out a little bit afterwards, but Bjergsen's still feeling very comfortable here in the mid lane.
Yeah, and a lot of the kill pressure down for Bjergsen without that ultimate. Pretty long cooldown on the first ultimate here from Camille. Also didn't have any CDR in the tank, so good job by Santorin using his ult to really dodge out on a lot of damage, because while you're still locked in the ultimatum, yes, he's invisible, and they can't actually do any real damage to him there. So was doing a really nice job.
Want to point out as well, Santorin did not go for the specification that I was talking about earlier with the evolved cloaking. Did instead go for the evolved claws.
Big hands.
Big old lobster claws on his praying mantis, whatever he's supposed to be, space bug. But it makes him much deadlier in 1v1 situations, in cleanup situations where he can just hit you with isolated Qs over and over again, and also makes him adept at soloing Drakes, Rift Heralds, things like that. So that's one extra thing, one extra tool in the belt of FlyQuest as this game goes forward, but it also means that he won't be able to dodge out of the fights so quickly, and it will be easier to catch him out.
Yeah, and we'll have to track what evolve he's going to go for second. A lot of players really
Almost
are
always
liking the W. Exactly. The W evolve is very, very nice, but sometimes people do want the Q early for the dueling, and then they want maybe some survivability so they still can go back to that R, but definitely, as you say, expecting the W evolve.
And in these days, the only time you ever take E at level 11 is if you're just 1v9 chatting the game and you have your team has
Iron to Challenger.
Yeah,
starting
Iron to Challenger 1v9 stream. Hog, why is this not banned? That's how you evolve your E. But now Viper's in the top lane, gonna be dropping very low. Pops the World Ender, broken Blade in some trouble. It's first blood over to FlyQuest. They get themselves out. Viper doesn't even lose the Bloodwell, and FlyQuest cash in.
Yeah, Santorin knocking down Broken Blade before he could chomp him up there. With the ultimate, and means Santorin does not get feared up. There's no chance of the Bloodwell getting procced and turning around there. So nicely done for FlyQuest, winning the 2v2 on the top side.
Yerksen making sure that he's not feeling like a nap anytime soon, doing a good job avoiding these trouble bubbles here in the mid lane as well. Let's take another look at the 2v2.
Yeah, here this is one more time. Broken Blade moving up, Acadian goes in, but Santorin is already ready there to respond, and they don't have enough damage to actually finish off Viper before this, and then look at that. Flashes forward from Santorin, kills him off before the ultimate does come through, and yes, the Bloodwheel would have actually stopped the death, but the fear would have landed and given perhaps an opportunity for Acadian to turn around some of that damage and maybe take down Santorin.
TSM just got done at the gym. They're back home. They got the blender on. They're making a smoothie, and some dude just comes up and knocks a blender off the table before it's even able to mix things up. Not a great feeling for the top lane of TSM, as he will be 0-1 now. However, the farm still maintaining equilibrium.
It's a hanging offense in Jersey Shore.
It's a capital crime.
Yeah.
As the first Drake this game has been the Ocean. Neither team going for the super early play onto that one. Again, we don't have something like an Olaf in this game, and although I talked about the Kazakhs having that good neutral objective secure potential once he evolves the claws, you don't have the claws at level 4, like when we saw the Olaf solo the Drake in the previous game, so no one was really able to put that early priority on that.
But you can tell TSM wants it pretty badly now. If you actually look over at their vision around that dragon, there's 3 pink wards in the river. They have a number of other wards around there too. So really heavy commitment to this. And FlyQuest is aware they're doing it. Let's see if they want to try to fight. Would be a tough engage. Turtle is moving over and so is Pobelter, but they're just so zoned.
Yeah, Sven was doing a good job there. 2 Mystic shots plus the True Shot barrage onto JJ and Santorin to keep them away. Just scare off any sort of thought that might be creeping around in the back of their mind that they would want to jump in there. And that is Ocean Drake going the way of TSM 12 minutes into the game. 20,000 gold to 19,500. So still very close overall in terms of the economy, but TSM seemingly in control for now. Also worth pointing out, I'm going to call this item every single time I see it. Stopwatch on Acadian means more dive potential than ever when he goes in to issue these ultimates.
Yeah, definitely the case. There's another one active now here on a couple of the members, right? Smoothie has his, Pobelter has his, and as you say, it's such an important cooldown. When used well, can turn a fight. When used poorly, makes you look pretty dumb.
Yeah, it's a pretty big meme.
But it definitely is incredibly strong.
Now, also worth pointing out, the weekly wager on stream. Stay tuned for the State Farm Analyst Desk spicy reaction to TSM versus Fly. Remember, I believe it was everyone except Twitter analysts?
StatsBot.
Or StatsBot, that's what it is. Yeah, StatsBot that voted for TSM. So if TSM win, we have to cover the robot in hot sauce. If FlyQuest win, everybody on the Analyst Desk has to eat hot sauce.
Yeah.
So either way, we get to have a fun time. I actually don't know what the StatsBot looks like, but I'm sure he looks
I think
silly.
it's a computer, so...
Well, that computer's getting fouled. FlyQuest now going for the initiation into the bottom lane. Then in some trouble, going to be taken very low. The damage comes through, and Turtle goes wild, grabbing himself a double kill.
Beautifully done there, showing off that Ornn plus Kai'Sa engaged, nails the ultimate. Follow-up is instantly there from Turtle, and they get the flash out of Sven and the kill. Both of them going onto the Kai'Sa, and they're going to get turret plates here, so really nicely done by the FlyQuest duo, and that hot sauce is getting closer.
Oh, baby, Turtle making sure that the desk is sweating through this game. And what I like from Turtle is I actually remember seeing him on one of Avali's preseason discussion shows that she did before everything kicked off a week ago. And he was talking about how his synergy with JJ has built up because they've had time to play together and because these guys have been a duo for a while now. And that's what that means for you. Yes, Sven and Smoothie are doing good, but they're still a rather new duo. Turtle and JJ, these guys go back a while, they've got experience, they know how to read what each other wants to do, and you get plays like this.
And Smoothie, what really triggered this is he actually used the shield early. So with the shield down, there's nothing to stop the Braum, for the Braum to actually stop that Ornn ultimate from coming through. So beautifully played there by the FlyQuest duo. They see that that's down, and they just make the call.
I mean, that's one of the traditional reasons that you see Braum picked into Ornn all the way back into when Ornn was like the staple of top lane, is Ornn summons the Ram, Braum just raises the shield backwards and tells the Ram to go home, and there's nothing else that you can do with it. You completely negate the engage tool, but man, as soon as that shield goes down, it is the biggest green light for FlyQuest to go for the fight, and they get it without spending any of Turtle's summoner spells either, so he's still sitting in a great spot.
So definitely a pretty costly mistake there from Smoothie, and we'll see if it does come back to bite them. I mean, TSM has had really strong late games, and we know how good Sven will be at that stage. He is on the 2 items. From here, he has almost always gone for the second tier and just continued to kind of stack up and scale into that late game. So we'll find out if FlyQuest can push the pace. We talked about it yesterday.
Yes.
That is really where they struggled. They were out to a 7,000 gold lead against CLG, and they were not able to close that one out. But thanks perhaps to engages like that Ornn can provide, they may be able to do a better job of that here today. And when you look at a combination like Kha'Zix plus Kai'Sa, that is someone who can really shred through a barrier.
Got a lot of damage potential on this squad as Viper tries to find some good damage there down onto Broken Blade. Will lose out on a little bit of it there on the end because of the exhaust, thanks to the Summoner Spellbook. A Sleepy Trouble finds its way onto Bjergsen finally, but he will get himself out. You can see very few plates being taken overall this game. 320 gold's worth on the side of TSM, only 160 for FlyQuest, so nobody really had enough lane control to punish their opponents for having to back at the wrong time. There weren't enough cross-map plays with teleports or anything like that to open up any windows, and now Acadian will move in to that Rift Herald pit and try to grab this objective for TSM.
Yeah, you know, nothing too early going on for the teams, but a lot, again, you can really tell where TSM wants to play based on where their ward is, right? And this is something that they have done very, very well. There was 3 pink wards down on the bottom side when they wanted the Dragon. Now there's 3 pink wards up on the top side when they want this Rift Herald, but being pushed off it at least for now. They can perhaps go back in as they clear out some of this vision and do shove in the waves one more time. But the Rift Herald does take quite a bit of time to actually knock down, so you have to be confident that if a fight breaks out, you will win.
At least it's not the Rift Herald of the olden days during the great times of what will forever be remembered as Dignitas versus Renegades, where it was capable of taking down even the mightiest of players.
That's true, but as was the turret.
As was the turret. There were many things back in those days.
Many things capable of taking
superhuman
down
powers, but
those mighty foes.
Only Turtle is capable of taking down turrets so far in this game, and that will bring FlyQuest up to a 3,000 gold lead over their opponents. They're going to equalize the Drake count now as well, picking up the Cloud Drake here for themselves. Santorin, what are you going to evolve? Let me take a quick look here, and it looks like the answer is... Why is my mouse not working? Spikes, exactly as we thought. It really gives Kha'Zix the ability to contribute to team fights outside of just going all in. The slow is incredible. It hits so many people at once. Very useful utility tool.
Yeah, and working towards what is very likely going to be a Best Blade. You know, not going back for the Black Cleaver at least just yet, though he does have a Ruby Crystal, which it does make that an option. But it's very nice, you know, for FlyQuest where the gold is actually allocated, right? There's both the kills went to Turtle. Solo turret gold went to Turtle. The one turret plate they got also on him, right? And that is why he is sitting at a very early 2 items. Stormrazor Rageblade has the Zerkers complete also. So he's going to be really a force as long as he can be autoing, as long as he has the safety to do that. But, you know, with the Camille, with the Syndra, you have an Ezreal ult laid over top of that ultimatum as well. That is very, very scary for Kai'Sa to step forward into.
Yeah, and we know Turtle as a guy who likes to go in.
Oh, yeah.
He loves to jump at his opponents, go for that big play, diving into the backline, eliminating everybody with crazy damage potential, but those plays can also misfire. We'll see if TSM take this Rift Herald for free, or if FlyQuest is able to make something happen. TP's coming in, Pobelter goes over the wall, finds about half HP onto Acadian instantly. JJ moving forward, going to be under a lot of pressure now. Acadian taken very low, has to go into the stasis right now. Turtle looking to find some damage even further. JJ taken down almost, but now he's out of the picture. Can FlyQuest find anything? Sven's going to be taken very low himself. Pobelter grabbing the kill onto that one. Bjergsen wants to chase after Turtle, but he's not able to find him, and now he's trapped behind enemy lines. Saving Private Bjergsen is gonna be a box office flop, baby, as Turtle unloads and finds a killing spree onto the TSM mid laner.
Nicely done there from FlyQuest. Another kill going the way of Turtle, and it's 3 for 1, despite the fact that they get the Rift Herald. That's just the promise of some turret damage. There is no guarantee there for TSM, so a lot invested in a lost fight, and part of that is because they were pretty split up on where they were going. Their initial engage also, I mean, the turn you want is really not onto the orange support. That is what they initially go for, that great bit of chunk coming over from Pobelter, and then they engage again onto the orange, ulting onto the orange. Turtle is over here on the side, and the three-man squad coming in from behind with FlyQuest, and then look at Turtle right into the middle of everyone. But does escape out the back while his team cleans up Sven, is able to kite this out, and then Pearson has no way out. He's in enemy territory, and Turtle just walks around, grabs another kill.
At that point, just try to throw a spear onto the little Krug and grab 10 gold on your way back to the spawn platform, because you are not going anywhere else. Wild Turtle 3, 0, and 2 on the Kaisa. Has that 2-item spike you already mentioned, plus the stopwatch in inventory. Pobelter saying the same at this point in time. There's actually 3 stopwatches up on the side of FlyQuest, so a lot of aggro drop capabilities here on this team moving forward. Stopwatch broken for Acadian. Not able to use that one any longer. Smoothie no longer has his either. And you're still looking at a game that's 4,000 gold pink line.
And you also got to remember just how effective Stopwatch is specifically against Syndra Ultimate, because it is, you know, kind of that delayed attack as the different orbs come out and hit you.
Yeah, one orb hits you and you can Stopwatch.
Exactly, right? You can, theoretically, if you actually time it well enough, you can even do it before any of them hit you and immune the entire ultimate while still taking the cooldown. Likewise, in the cast time of the Camille ultimate, you can actually fizzle her ult while she jumps up in the air. Cooldown gone, you are safe.
Well, Santorin deciding you might want to go for a fight here. Bjergsen going to be knocked up into the air by the Ornhorn, as it looks like the Sleepy Trouble Bubble's not going to find its mark just yet. FlyQuest wisely backing away after recognizing you can't go that deep. Yeah, you threw Bjergsen up into the air, but he's between 2 turrets. That's not exactly a recipe for success. And with that big initiation tool down, FlyQuest won't be looking to probably do a whole lot more until they've got it back up.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything too crazy here. They're really happy about their position now, and they very likely have done their full review from yesterday.
Oh, Acadian going over the wall, looking to start things off here. Smoothie into the middle of the mix now as well. Santorin immediately going to be eliminated. Sven providing that damage, the artillery for TSM as Bjergsen's coming around from behind, and FlyQuest have to get the hell out of town. They've already lost 1, and you have to cut those losses and retreat.
Yeah, nice pick onto Santorin there. And as I was saying, and I'm sure they've done their VOD reviews from yesterday, they've kind of talked through the lessons that they've learned, some of the mistakes that they may have made against CLG to try to close this one out. And picks like that certainly are those kind of mistakes. Those are the things that can buy time for your opponents to scale up, to catch up, and to really make that gold lead mean less the further you get into the game. Well,
not even 6,000. It's more like 4,000 gold, 22 minutes into the game. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. You get to 45 minutes into the game. Everybody's got 5 items, 4,000 gold. Who cares?
Yep. Now Infernal, with that spawning up here, certainly a distractive dragon, I think, especially when you're, for both these teams, because they have so much damage, right? So we will see probably both these guys trying to fight for it, and we'll see if TSM can actually establish vision control around there, as most of their pink wards are still on the top side of the map.
One smash from Shelly is going to do a lot of damage onto that mid lane turret. TSM does a good job using Shelly as the distraction, while Infernal is the real gambit they're going for here. Looking to now initiate onto Viper, stunning him up, goes into the World Ender on time, won't be able to bring him down, does drop a lot of damage back into TSM in retaliation. JJ is going to have the Ornhorn blocked up, but the cost is Smoothie's life. TSM get themselves the Infernal Drake, they lose their support, and the question for FlyQuest becomes, what can you get to make that worth?
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get too much. Maybe this mid lane turret, if they can push it really quickly, but TSM is moving over there, so we'll see if they're able to answer, but at least for now, definitely a worthwhile trade for TSM, giving up Smoothie, grabbing the Infernal. This time he was able to block out the Ornn ultimate and prevent the rest of his teammates from going down.
FlyQuest will manage to trade back the Tier 1 turret for that. Whether or not that is worth a Tier 1 turret versus an Infernal Drake to provide scaling further and further into the game, that's up to debate. However, FlyQuest at least do make it objective for objective, but now TSM are going to come back and say, all right, Shelly did most of the work. We'll just come in here, sweep the rest of this under the rug, and we're done with that ourselves.
And the longer the game goes, the better the Infernal comes, right? Whereas, there's kind of that static value for taking down that turret. You can get maybe easier control, maybe easier access to the Baron Pit, and that has some value there. We'll see if Turtle maybe checking into Acadian.
Oh, it was really close. Acadian got that thing down to 1 HP.
Whoa, do they want it?
Acadian will be forced to flash out there, otherwise he would have gone to sleep in a very, very painful way. Pobelter making sure that he pops the Summoner spell at least. So Acadian trading the flash for the red buff. This is another one of those things. Is it worth, right? You deny the red buff from Turtle, so he doesn't have the extra regeneration if he gets poked. He doesn't have the extra damage in the next team fight, but if that flash is the difference between you being able to make a play or not, does that actually matter? And that's what we're going to have to see over the course of the next 5 minutes.
And you obviously have to take into consideration also, what are the chances that you even have to blow the flash, right? So he's hoping he gets out scot-free. In this case, probably not worth it, but had he got that and not blow the flash, then obviously it's just
great.
your gain. Perfect. What I want to see FlyQuest do now, though, is what they're actually doing. Establish vision control around this lane, get around the Baron, drop those pink wards, clear out everything from TSM, and then look to use Zoe Poke and Ornn Engage to get a pick and get the Baron. And
you saw how forward Pobelter was there, jumping in to try to find the damage with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble into the Paddle Star onto Smoothie because he had Acadian's flash. When he flashed out in mid lane, notice that Summoner spell on the side still completely lit up for him. It was not his real one. He recognized the fact that he had that extra resource to use, and he used it to just get whatever he could. That's what I like to see, utilizing these champions to their fullest.
You can see, though, TSM using mid lane priority to get access to the river. They push in Pobelter. Pobelter has to go back to the tier 2. He's getting shoved backwards. That means that they now no longer have access to the river. The rest of the FlyQuest squad has to retreat. So despite the fact that they did do a good job getting in there, getting those pink wards down, a couple of them have been cleared out already by TSM as they reestablished that mid lane and therefore river control.
And you can't count TSM out, even if the game is 7-2, even if they've been on the back foot for a while. Because even when people would levy complaints at TSM throughout the organization's history, a lot of the complaints were TSM is just not really doing anything super active. They're just waiting to win because they're a better team. And the thing is, that's one of those sort of backhanded compliments, saying, oh yeah, you're a better team, but you're not doing a lot with that. But it is recognizing this team is very good in late game team fighting.
Yeah.
This team will be able to take their opponents down in a late game 5v5 situation, and it all comes down to whether or not they're going to be given the opportunity. Pobelter goes into the stasis, giving himself alive for now, has to try to get away, but Sven goes up the wall, looking to find some damage. Sven taking very low now as well, and Viper grabs the kill onto the TSM AD carry, makes it a 1-for-0 as Pobelter barely limps out of that.
Yeah, with Sven down, we'll see if they want to try to go for more here. The vision is all taken out, but not willing to pull the trigger and actually start up that Baron just yet because there is a Scuttle Crab up for TSM. So killing that off, certainly paying dividends now, and they have to walk into the pit to at least try to bait it. I mean, they would have spotted Kha'Zix going in, so they're not tricking anyone with that.
Yeah,
they would have had to both jump over the wall. I mean, that would have been pretty clever, but if Santorin doesn't have his jump, Viper eating over the wall isn't really tricking anything. At the very least, though, they do actually get out that blue orb.
Drowsy down in a broken blade. It looks like this is FlyQuest saying it's time to go, but JJ's already been eliminated. Will be a 1-for-1 trade. Both supports going to be out of the picture here. Immediately, Turtle looking to make the fight happen onto broken blades. Sven shooting the Mystic Shot over the wall, not able to find the damage, and now Viper is onto him. Can he sink his fangs into the AD carry yet again? No, sir! Santorin goes in and rips him to shreds. Pobelter goes on a rampage to find the kill for himself. It's 2 dead on TSM, 2 dead on FlyQuest.
Explosive fight there for an even trade. Very close to a lot more members going down. Had JJ not gotten knocked down early, maybe it goes better for FlyQuest. And likewise, Pobelter and Turtle almost getting killed.
A little bit more damage might be able to do it.
Didn't finish him.
FlyQuest does not actually finish off the enemy jungler. However, they will force him low enough that he can't contest the objective, and the Ocean Drake will go over to the side of FlyQuest, but let's take another look at how all of this insanity started.
Yeah, here this is one more time. Watch JJ just getting zeroed out by Bjergsen, just deletes him before he can really contribute anything to the fight. But likewise, Smoothie getting knocked down, and then over on the side, Turtle getting very separated from the team there. A well-timed stopwatch, I do believe, stopped the reactivation of Broken Blade's ultimate there. So that was denied, and he barely squeaks out as Sven couldn't find the timing to kill him coming out of the stopwatch.
So close in these fights. FlyQuest still maintaining that 5,500 gold lead, but TSM doesn't seem too intimidated. They're still playing the fights well. They're still finding opportunities. Like you said, Bjergsen blew up JJ instantly because that was the one guy on the team at the time that didn't have a stopwatch to block it. Bjergsen's saying, all right, everybody is going to deny my ultimate except this one dude. And that one dude is about to have a bad afternoon.
Yep, and you'll take those kills. And now it's TSM onto the Baron here. They have scuttle control. They have vision control. FlyQuest should be aware this is happening. I mean, they're in the area. Just now they spot it.
Baron's down to about 1/4 HP. Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes in. Baron is still going to be taken very low, but it's stolen from Belter! That's a huge play! He goes unstoppable. He takes down the enemy support. Broken Blade is broken in half, and Turtle is unstoppable.
Neither jungler able to smite it away. It's Belter flying in, taking the Baron on Zoe, and FlyQuest with that may be able to secure themselves the game. We'll see if they can get enough of a lead to do it. Turtle so fed now. 2 members down on TSM. They are looking to crack at least one inhibitor here.
The notorious POB jumping into the pit, making what could very well be the game-winning play for his team, as they now sit atop a nearly 10,000 gold lead, and TSM's inhibitor goes right into the dumpster.
An enormous advantage for FlyQuest there. TSM, it looked like they had been making a good play. It looked like they had the vision control. They had the ability to secure that one, but they decide to opt in to what was a 50-50. But Belter has the 200 IQ. He's able to do the math
50-50 out of 200. That puts Belter at the remaining 100.
And here it is one more time. He had Smite. Belter had Smite. Did he smite this away? He did!
He smote it!
Oh my god, I didn't even catch that in the initial play. So Belter with the Zoe W had a chilling smite. This man just took over the game. It's the year of Pobe.
Belter just did what had to be the biggest play of the day. If you see something bigger, make sure you let us know at LOL Esports. Tweet it to us using hashtag LCS Big Plays. But that one right there, it's going to be hard to top that.
If you have to be told to tweet that one, you're not even paying attention.
You aren't even watching. You got us on the second monitor or something. That don't even count, but Belter and FlyQuest are gonna make the most of this Baron now, pushing down the bottom lane. They've already got the mid lane inhibitor taken. They've got Viper enchanting those minions with the Baron buff to continue that push and continue that pressure, while the rest of the team hangs out bottom. Both carries on the side of FlyQuest, in case you missed it, Azale, still deathless.
Yep. One of the crazy things about that is because of the jungle XP changes, Belter's 3 levels above where the Camille is. So he had the smite advantage. Plus, I mean, you've heard about Lee Sin Q smite. How about Zoe Q smite?
Zoe's the best jungler in the game from mid lane. Prove me wrong. Change my mind. FlyQuest pushing up in bottom lane, just allowing that cannon minion to do his job. Doink.
If I were to be outside LCS with his little stall, make the argument.
Yeah, you can come make your argument to try to change my mind, but I am a stubborn dude, and after watching that, you're going to have a hard time, man.
Poor Acadian. That feels bad.
Oh, that hurts. Losing the smite fight is always one of the worst feelings as the jungler. Losing the smite fight to not the enemy jungler pretty much multiplies it.
Yeah, it does. But we'll see if TSM can hang on. FlyQuest, though, looking damn good today.
Yeah.
Firing on all cylinders, as you say. The 2 main carries, deathless. Death cap now completed here for Belter, and they have the additional AP from the Baron. So, he's sitting 639 AP, 32 minutes into the game. That is certainly, one-shot territory on a lot of these guys.
Yesterday, it was the lack of ability to say, okay, we fight now, that cost FlyQuest a lead. And today, they seem to have found the medicine for what ails them. It's Sleepy Trouble Bubble and Ornn Horn. If one of those connects, there's your green light. Viper pops the Ghost Blade, runs in. Santorin goes in Viz, runs in. Turtle, we know he's got the killer instinct. He's in. Yep. And that is the FlyQuest game plan as they'll take their 3rd Elemental Drake of the game. That will be the final one. Remember, Elders still spawn at 35 minutes, even though the interval between the Elementals is only 5 instead of 6. Both teams, of course, will have a pretty powerful true damage burn, considering the Elemental Drakes are rather evenly split. The Broken Blade will just continue trying to farm up here on the top side. Baron buff has expired. Baron will be live in under 2 minutes. And now TSM is in a situation where they are down 8,000 gold. It's increasingly dangerous to move into dark spots on the map because stuff like that can come flying right towards you. And if that connects, say bye-bye to your health.
You really will. The one kind of big bright spot here, you have to say, though, is still Sven scaling up, has his double tiers fully stacked, has the Sork boots, maybe a Gunblade, maybe a Blade of the Rune King. That is really up to him, but we know that Ezreal can take over in some of these late-game team fights. So it's up to FlyQuest to strangle them out, to get the vision everywhere, to close out this game. giving the opportunity for Pobelter to always be poking from out of vision where they can't react.
And you pointed out Sven's stats earlier about how the guy had a 29 KDA overall between 2 games on the champion, dying 0 times in one time in the other. He's died 4 times in this game. FlyQuest has done a wonderful job making sure that they've got his number, as Bjergsen will now have his own card pulled. They're jumping on him, they're finding the stasis, they're finding the damage, they're not able to find the kill, and the grinder for Broken Blade's gonna put FlyQuest into a fleeing animation. The shutdown over onto Wild Turtle. It's a double kill for Viper in retaliation though, and Fly will still win the fight.
Yeah, they get the 1K shutdown on a Turtle. We'll see if Sven can get out. Pobelter's looking.
Oh, Pobelter wants to send these guys to Dreamland on a one-way ticket, but he's not able to find it just yet. Santorin moving towards that second inhibitor now exposed in the TSM base. FlyQuest putting the moves on that one real quick, takes it down. And now Baron, alive in 15 seconds, means it's time to hit that reset button, go back to base, and prepare for the ongoing battle.
Yep, and with the bottom inhibitor down, that is the hardest one to defend Baron against when that is already out of there. So here it goes. Sound the horn. Bjergsen caught out. Got very low very quick, but a nice stopwatch keeps him alive for it now and extends the fight. But you can see Turtle. Look at that AoE shred. Ezreal ulti coming through. You see the Urgot ultimate on him. The ultimate coming out from Bjergsen. Everything piled in, and they do burst him down. Getting that kill is the only thing that kept TSM alive in the game, but it's still FlyQuest in the driver's seat. It's TSM setting up around Baron. They're just starting it.
TSM.
Does Pobelter have Smite Flowers?
TSM are saying, all right, we have to go for this. We cannot just wait for FlyQuest to decide when they're going to fight again. We have to pull the trigger here. Kaisa firing the missile into the pit. The Drowsy finds its way onto Smoothie. The Ornhorn's going to be sounded, but he doesn't get the opportunity to send the Ram back into the fight. Smoothie's taken very low. Baron's going to be taken down. It's secured again by FlyQuest, and TSM are out of there. It's a double kill over the Wild Turtle, and TSM just have to try to escape with whatever they've got. Viper already takes the TP into the bottom lane. Stop the ports, hold the back. The game is done. TSM will do whatever they can to try to get out of this one. Turtle will be taken down yet again, but he is a noble sacrifice as Viper turns that sword into a sledgehammer and starts dismantling the TSM base.
There's nothing left here for TSM. They can't get back to base. They're just trying to get away. They're trying to escape and get a base off. Viper has this very, very low. Bjergsen may be able to finish his base, but there's a GA. The ultimate isn't available, but he's got to kill him twice, and there's no time.
That's all she wrote. FlyQuest find their win. They take down TSM, and they will go to 3-1 at the end of week 2.
A hell of a start to the year for FlyQuest. And what a performance from Pobelter. 6-0-7, stealing the Baron away with the Zoe Smite. Really secured that game for them. This was an impressive bounce back on Sunday for a team that looked directionless yesterday against CLG.
Azael, go ahead and hop into my time machine here with me for a second. We're going to set it to about 45 minutes ago. Boy, Azael, Pobelter really looks like he's putting on the carry pants now that he's on FlyQuest again. Or now that he's on FlyQuest now that he's off of Team Liquid, off of that supportive role. And boy, oh boy, did he carry today. That was impressive from him, from the entire squad as a whole. FlyQuest looked like they did in week 1 again. They look like a team who knows how to play together as 5, who knows how to make things happen, and as long as they've got those engaged tools, I think you're still going to keep seeing this team succeed. I
mean, this was just an impressive performance across the board. Turtle and JJ got a double kill, 2v2 against the bottom lane. That is, going incredibly well for them. And when you're looking at Santorin and Viper, strong performances from them. Pobelter, yes, he was losing lane to Bjergsen, but he really was incredibly effective in the team fights and came up huge when they needed him with that Baron steal. But you gotta feel a bit for Acadian. Ooh. 3 levels down. The experience change is certainly playing a part in that. Not sure if he would have got it with the higher level or not, but that Zoe combo, burst it down from such a high health that there's very little the jungler can do to actually secure that.
It went from 1800 to 0 in about half a second. That's a really sketchy situation. But for more on the spiciest of victories, let's send things down to an interview with a FlyQuest bot lane carry.
Thanks, Flowers. Wild Turtle, congratulations on that win. You were completely popping off in the bot lane, and Pobelter with that clutch smite onto Baron. Now, I want to ask you, because kind of coming into the split in preseason, you told me that TSM was looking like a really strong team and one to beat. So how does it feel taking the win today?
It feels pretty good. I think we just drafted what we were comfortable with. Like yesterday, we didn't really pick a comp that we were really good at. So yeah, I think this time around, we picked a comp that was a lot better and suited our style a little bit more.
I wanted to ask if this victory was what you expected, but before this game started, you gave me a first blood prediction. You told me that Santorin was going to get the kill at 12 minutes and 32 seconds. You were 2 minutes off. He got first blood at 10 minutes. So what do you have to say for that prediction?
I'm in the wrong timeline.
Wrong timeline, just 2 minutes off. But you and JJ are looking great in the bot lane. What has really changed, or how have you grown and improved your synergy since last split?
I just think it comes with playing with each other a little bit more and just talking to each other. That's kind of how it is, you know. When you play together, you just talk together and get better.
No, the other addition to your roster this year was Pobelter, who, like we said, was amazing today. How has he really changed the team?
He's just a really good person to rely on. Like, he always plays well, like, every game. So, yeah, he's a good person to rely on.
And next week, you guys play Team Liquid. You got Double Lift in the bot lane to go against. What do you think about that matchup?
I'll just play the game again, you know. Just maybe we'll win.
I really like this laid-back attitude coming from you, but people who are not going to be so laid-back coming up, our analysts, I believe, bet on TSM winning this game, and their punishment is to eat like ghost pepper spicy sauce. So is there anything that you'd like to say to them before we throw?
Good luck, have fun, boys.
Good luck, have fun, boys. Turtle, thank you again for the interview. And analysts, how are you doing over there?
We're doing great.
Why couldn't you have a worse game, Turtle?
We are doing fantastic over here on the analyst desk. FlyQuest.
I swear the LCS is scripted. As a pro player, I was always concerned, and now that I'm on desk, I can confirm from the backstage, it's definitely scripted, I swear, because
FlyQuest is going to make my analysts pay for their lousy predictions at the top of the day.
Where's Kobe?
They put their faith in
Where'd Kobe
Kobe
He was here earlier today.
But I do have two of the incorrect predictors on the desk. So here's what we're going to do. We've got that hot sauce. As we mentioned earlier, it's 650,000 units on the Scoville meter. So I'm just going to pour some of it into this ramekin, pass it along to you guys. You guys have a chip each in hand. Go ahead and take that. Split it for you two.
that's red.
Are we like? They're going to get a sizable little scoop in there.
I got like a whole size.
Oh, that's good. That's solid. That's solid. That's
You want
like
me
a
to
little
Vanna White it for, I don't know which camera.
There it is, exactly. Does anyone want to get in there?
good?
All right, cheers, gentlemen.
You want to, wait, you got to go left.
Cheers. Oh, there it is. All right, here we go. Boom. The chips are in, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time to talk about how FlyQuest came away with that victory. Let's take a look at team composition. Is it? What'd you say? It is so hot right away.
Yeah.
It hit you right away?
Yeah,
well, because we had a couple producers in here testing it out earlier.
Worse. Like right now, it's bearable.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into it so that you guys don't have to sit here for too long. Team compositions, let's see how those fell for each of the teams. We have Wild Turtle on that Kaisa, started to come up big for the team.
No, you got the heat hiccups.
I got the heat hiccups. This is going to be a fun segment,
No, it's
ladies
not.
and gentlemen. Mark, you want to talk to me about these
I like FlyQuest draft a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday, we picked an all-in early game team comp. This has a lot better late game. Scales very well with the Kaisa, the Ornn bot lane. It works very well. It's been JJ's best pick on the day.
I'm a pretty big fan of Kaisa, too, as real. I swear it's not that hot. I'm not dying right now.
You're not dying right now. That's
James,
right.
take my water away. I don't want my water.
That's what I like to hear, Hi. You're thinking positive thoughts right now. We're taking the water away from them. Hey, you mentioned the strong bot lane play out of FlyQuest. Let's roll down into that. A big double kill. I can't handle their faces right now.
Roll the replay!
Roll this replay for us.
Get me out, get me out.
Double
Smoothie,
kill.
why? Why did you shield, Smoothie?
Oh my God.
That's Brahm's good into Ornn. You just save the shield. And he can't ult. And then you shield for no reason. You give a double kill to the Kaisa. Why?
Yep, that set FlyQuest off to the races there. Wild Turtle and Pobelter, they came up big. Very solid scoreline.
Pobelter had a pretty rough lane phase, but he came in hot afterwards, you know?
How hot? How hot did he come in, Hi?
Why'd you put your water away?
What, does that help? Does that help?
No.
There's no way that helps.
Didn't.
All right. Well,
I'm not drinking water, though.
An early lead.
I really don't like FlyQuest right now. I'm
You
not
don't
gonna
like
lie.
FlyQuest?
No.
Weren't you on that team at one point?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just
Why did Pobelter get smite? How do you?
That's something we got to call out, right? Because while FlyQuest did get early advantages and Wild Turtle was definitely in a good position early on in the game, TSM still found ways, as they always do, to kind of stay competitive in the game. But it did come down to that Baron. TSM starts it, and Pobelter comes up big with a steal on his Zoe. Just off of a Q, let's roll that Baron fight as Mark is crying currently.
Oh my God.
Here's a joy. I'm so happy FlyQuest this season. Is this the right replay?
This isn't the right replay.
Why can't they get the replay right?
I'm
You know what?
out, dude.
Can we
I need
take a
some water.
moment and go back and get the other replay? We'll wait. We got time. These guys aren't struggling. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and reset.
Can I get my
reload.
water, too? Is that my water?
You want the water after handing it
Oh
away?
my
to me?
God.
Yeah.
All right.
That cave.
Yo,
Here it goes. We're
Some
throwing it
producers
back.
came in here earlier and ate the chip with the hot sauce. So I didn't think it would be that bad. You know, they didn't cry.
They're like,
that.
it's fine.
I think they lied to us. They had a different sauce or something.
Oh, my
Well, they didn't have to
goodness.
talk as much. I think the air makes it way worse.
Is that, yeah.
Don't
You
aerate
guys, you
it.
guys took a good scoop there
Yeah.
as well, for sure.
That was a prime time to not do a 50-50, you know, like.
I'm actually more happy that you guys didn't split your predictions. This is the fight we were looking for. TSM starts the Baron. This is their attempt to get back into the game, and a huge steal coming through for Pobelter.
Yeah, huge play by him. And after that, you know, they're behind. They're kind of trapped in the pit, so it's pretty easy to clean up after that. That was kind of the last-ditch effort.
You know, did someone cut some onions or something? Right?
Yeah, is that what happened?
Yeah,
Somebody's
so-
in the back chopping onions.
In Arcadia's defense, Pobelter's level 16 with a Zoe Q coming in and has a smite. That did like 1,600 damage or something like that. And you can't outsmite that.
To me, what's
Talking
great,
makes it so bad.
out of context, it just looks like you guys are really emotional.
Yeah, imagine
about
someone who
this game,
joined
which is
didn't
what's
see us
so
eat the
great
hot
about.
sauce.
I love to think that you guys are really invested in TSM's
I'm
success.
so happy for Turtle. He's like one
These
of my
are tears
favorite
of joy.
AD carries.
Yeah, that's what it is, I'm sure. All right, hey, I'm not sure I believe that this stuff is as hot as it is. Pass me the ramekin and the chip as we go to break. We're going to get these guys some milk when we return. Counter Logic Gaming faces off against Cloud9. Let's give this a try.
Whew, that's hot.
Just wait.
Wait, he has
That's
to
that
talk.
browser.
He has
It's
to
going to
talk.
come. Oh, I can feel it.
Oh, it makes it worse.
This is good. Glad I wasn't a part of this bet.
Tune into it like in 20 seconds.
See you guys. I can't wait for the next week to Lager. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh,